Welcome, welcome, Mari Smith Benanti, she, her, hers, and I'm the Assistant Vice President of Student Affairs. I'll do it all over again for you all. Um, and I'm going to turn the presentation over to Ashley Adams, who you are very lucky to hear from today.
Thank you, Mari. Hi, everybody. I'm Ashley Adams. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am the Associate Director of Student Involvement. So I get the lucky responsibility of getting to talk to all of you. Um, Usually, when I do a presentation for people, if you have a question while I'm going through something, toss it into the chat. And then after I go through that slide, Maury will just be like, hey, Ashley, we have a question. I'd much rather answer your question while we're in that topic. And then if I don't fully answer your question, or if you prefer not to ask one today, you can send an email to student involvement. And Mari, can you put that in the chat so that they have it? I think I forgot to put it in the slide. Okay, perfect. We're going to talk about how to get involved as a first year student here at Cornell. So these are the different areas we'll talk about. We're going to talk about registered student organizations, which make up most of what student involvement helps with. We have about 90 registered organizations as of right now. We're going to talk about Student Government Association, and Mari actually works directly with Student Government Association, or SGA, so she might be able to pop in some little nuggets of knowledge as we go through it. Then we have student-sponsored involvement opportunities, which we'll talk more in depth about as we go through. Events for you to look forward to for when you come to campus, and then contact information, which I think I forgot to put in, and then a Q&A. Okay. There we go. All right, so registered student organizations, or RSOs, any student registered at Grinnell College can create a registered student organization. A list of our current registered student organizations can be found here. We have a link. I'm going to go to it in just a moment so that you can kind of see some of the organizations that we have. To create a registered student organization, and Nicholas, I think this is the question that you had, so we're going to answer it right away. All you need is to submit an application. Our applications are open from August 28th through September 4th, so you have a week. You have to have a constitution. We will have a constitution template available so that you can just plug your information in. You have to have 5 students that are interested in being a part of the organization, and one of them should want to be the president and one of them should want to be the treasurer. So that would make up your total. You'd have president, treasurer, and then 3 general members as you start your organization. And then we need a mission or purpose for your organization, and it cannot be like an organization that already exists. We love supporting students and their interests in forming organizations. We also want to make sure that we're bringing students together in shared communities. And so if we had 10 organizations that were all pickleball clubs, it would divide our students out even further. So we really want to try to get you all together to be able to participate in your shared interests. Okay, so this is the student organization link. It's going to list out our current registered student organizations. Some of these might change from when you arrive on campus. We're currently going through this list and cross-referencing it with those that registered. We have a lot of student organizations that will just kind of drop off after the end of the year. And so if you come to campus and you don't see one that was on this list, you can always reach out to us via email and we will make sure to help you out. So like I said, lots of organizations. Board Game Club, they play on Friday nights and they start, I think, at 7 or 8 at night. And they've told me they go till 3 or 4 in the morning. You don't have to do that. They're just very passionate about board games. We Card game club is separate. Chess club, they host competitions that any student can go to. Yeah, we have a lot of organizations. So floating squirrels is one of my favorites. They do water polo on inner tubes. So they also have a really fun logo. So I will let you peruse this. I will say if you play an instrument and you want to be in the college's pep band, they only have 15 members right now, but they've grown exponentially. So if you play an instrument and you want to be in the band, check them out. They're a pretty fantastic group. Do I have squirrels as the unofficial mascot? Thank you, Mari. See, this you're so helpful. Squirrels are big. Squirrels are big on this campus. Um, do we have any questions at all about how to become an RSO? Are there any culinary arts classes or clubs? Um, right now we don't have a student organization that is culinary based. We do have a lot of events that are related to culinary arts and culture. One of the biggest events that we'll have on campus is actually the Food Bazaar, and it's in November typically, hosted by our International Student Organization. And they have 30 students cook meals from their home countries, and then other students sign up. And these tickets are coveted. So you sign up early. If you see an email go out that says come to the Food Bazaar, sign up when you can because they're competitive to get. um, we have a lot of things like that related to culinary exploits, I guess I would say, but we don't have one specifically that focuses on culinary. If that's something you're interested in, I didn't catch the name because it popped up quickly, so I apologize. Email student involvement, and we can start working now. When it comes to food, food can be, um, there can be some additional steps you have to take that other organizations don't have to take. And so we could probably help you get started a little bit earlier. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah,
Can I just jump in really quickly and say,
please.
make sure that you read all of the descriptions for tutorials when they come out, and also for any sort of special topics classes, because occasionally there are professors who will include culinary aspects for their courses. And so hopefully you will find those in the course descriptions, but I think you may have to dig a bit. So make sure you read through classes you're interested in and the description pretty carefully.
I think Todd Armstrong from the Russian language department does a lot of cooking in with his classes, so that's pretty cool. Yeah. Any other questions related to starting an organization? The Constitution and the other information that you would need to start an organization will all be included in the email that I send out on the first day of classes to alert students that you can submit applications. I hold hours in that first week of classes for students to come in and sit and talk to me about their constitutions, their organization, and help problem solve. So email student involvement if you start to get in that planning process and you need help. I'd be more than happy to sit down and help. Okay. All right. Next, we have the Student Government Association. So SJA is comprised of different really two different groups. We have the cabinet, which is the president, the vice president of student affairs, the vice president of academic affairs, the treasurer, and is that it, Mari, for the cabinet? Oh, yes. Okay. So those are the cabinet and then the upper cabinet, and then there's another group of students under them that fill out the rest of the cabinet. And then we have the Senate, and the Senate, I think, is one of the most important groups on campus. Each class has three senators, each class year. So it would be 2026, 2027, 2028, and 2029. And there are three senators. Right now, all of the other classes have their senators, but you all, as first years, as soon as you come to campus, you can run to be a senator. And then, more importantly, you can vote for your senators. So if you have an interest in speaking the student voice, in helping to advocate for your fellow students, in helping to improve just general processes on campus, SGA is where it's at. Student Government Association is where it would be. Okay. Look for emails again in the beginning of September for becoming a senator. And then once the Senate comes together and once the cabinet goes through its training, there's going to be positions that they are looking to appoint students to. And these are positions on committees that are around campus. And so you'd be at the table helping to make decisions for yourselves and for other people. And so if, again, if you want your voice heard, if you want to be involved in campus politics, look for emails from SGA. They also, correct me if I'm wrong, Mari, have an Instagram account. And they do. Yep. Do you want to put the handle in the chat if you remember it? Okay. Um, and I would follow them while you can, or not while you can follow them at any point in time, but follow them now. They will start to post opportunities to get involved with them. Senate upper cabinet, the ones I mentioned before that are president, the vice presidents, and the treasurer, those are all paid positions. There are some lower cabinet positions that are paid, and then senators are volunteer based. Once you get into the culture of SGA, it's very easy and quick to want to make your voices heard on higher levels. So, highly recommend getting involved. Is there anything else you want to add, Mari, for SGA since you supervise them?
Well, that's the best part. I would get to work with you all. So we will also be posting some positions for the larger cabinet. The executives, as Ashley mentioned, are already either elected or hired. But it is not uncommon for first years to make up part of the cabinet. So don't let your class year standing be a deterrent, because I have worked with some really amazing first years who have gone on to become executive members, etc. So there's definitely a chance to get involved. And I think are we still posting on Handshake, Ashley?
We, I think, are switching to ADP. We have
Okay.
a new, so for all of you, it won't be new because you're new to Grinnell. For us as hiring managers, they're switching some things up in the background. And so I'm not 100% sure what platform you want to look on. You can ask, you can email student involvement. You could also email student employment, and they would be able to help you as well. No matter what, reach out. We'll help you find out who you have to talk to for it. Okay. The other thing I would say about SG and really any of the organizations that we're going to talk about today, just because you haven't done it before doesn't mean you can't do it when you come to Grinnell. You'll gain the experience as you try things out. Okay. Student sponsored involvement opportunities. So we talked about mostly the volunteer roles on campus, a lot of the things that you can just show up to a club meeting and join. The ones that I'm going to talk about now are there's two facets of them. So these organizations are hosted involvement opportunities for all students, but they're run by student employees or they're directly overseen by a staff member in student involvement. So Weekend is the first one. They're the best example I can give to this. So I supervise Weekend. I have a staff of 8 or 9, and they are a programming board. So they're going to do things like drag bingo. We're going to have drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race come to campus. They're going to host bingo. We're going to give out prizes. Those are my employees. Any student can attend those events. So you can look for a job on Weekend. Even better, you can go to their events. Drag Bingo is one of the biggest ones, biggest events they have. We also have a winter waltz. So if you have a formal outfit that you want to bring, you can use it for winter waltz. We go all out. It's probably one of the best events that Weekend does, or the one that students talk about the most. We have a lot of fun things that they do, but you can enjoy it either way. They also have Instagram, and I believe their handle is at Weekend Grinnell or Grinnell Weekend. I will find it, and or Mari, if you, I don't know if you follow them, but we'll put it in the chat. Free sound. Do we have, if you want to use the react button, are there any musicians that are here today? Like anybody play any instruments or sing? No. Oh, I got a thumbs up. Thanks, Jason. Oh, and a heart. Thank you. Okay, so Free Sound, I also supervise them. They're a group of six, and they have a space in the Gardner Lounge, which is in Main Hall. It's like the basement of Main Hall. They have drum kits, guitars, most musical instruments they have in that space, and you can sign up to just go and jam in that space anytime you want. Actually, a couple bands have formed where people just go in and do jam sessions, and they'll come together and a band will be created. They also do something called Tiny Dorm. Actually, they had to switch it to Tiny Lounge because of fire code. But what that is they'll ask people who are singer songwriters or who like to perform if they want to host essentially a tiny lounge. So you would go in and you would perform, and they would try to get as many students in that space as possible to watch you perform. They've also been able to live stream it once or twice. They're still kind of working on that, but there is an avenue for you to perform what you love, your music, for other people, which is pretty great. They also have on Wednesday nights they have free sound hour where students can come and they'll teach any of you an instrument. So if you want to learn to play the drums, they'll teach you. You want to learn to play the guitar, the ukulele, they will teach you. It's a pretty fun space. They also help with technology for student organizations, and that's more on the back end. The stuff that you'll see more or less is the music and the bands around campus. They like to connect students that like to perform. Next is forensics. Forensics is made up of Model UN, mock trial, and debate. There are no paid positions with these three. However, Nancy Ganan, who is our program coordinator in student involvement, she helps all three of these areas travel. She helps them participate in forensics. Did anybody do Model UN in school or debate or mock trial? You can use a reaction symbol if you want. All of the groups are looking to grow. So if you, Mari, you did? I never knew that. Oh, that's fantastic. Was it debate? Okay, wonderful. So if you are interested, again, if you've never done it, that's okay. Definitely go and check it out. Reach, you can reach out to Nancy Ganan. Her email, I think Mari can plop in the chat. Each of the groups has a separate email. They're not going to be checking it over the summer. And so if you want more information about who to connect with or get more information now before coming, you'll want to reach out to Nancy and she'll have that information for you. Next, we have the craft workshop. Craft workshop is located by Luce Hall, and they do pottery, but it's not just pottery, but essentially like clay and art, and they'll teach you how to spin on the wheel and make things, and it's free for students. So if you've never done it and you want to try it, you can do it. Craft workshop is different than the stew maker space. You'll hear about the stew maker space when you come to campus. It's what's the name again for craft workshop? Oh, for the person who does forensics. Is that right, Nor? And I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Oh, the pottery craft workshop. If you are, so you probably won't hear from craft workshop employees until the second. Oh, great. I'm so glad. And if I say your name wrong, please correct me. You can be like, nope, that's wrong. Figure it out. Okay. And then I'll work on it. Craft workshop won't be getting back to people probably for 2 to 3 weeks into the semester because they have to go through training. If you already know how to do pottery, I know that they're looking to hire in the first 2 weeks of classes. So be on the lookout for that. You can also just go explore. Just try it. Have fun with it. The last one that I have on here, and there are more than just what I put on here. I only have so much space and so much time. So if I don't say something that you're interested in and you want to know, reach out to student involvement and we'll try to find it. And if not, start the organization. It'll be great. The last one we have is student publications. So student publications is very similar to Weekend in that we have really two areas in which you can be involved. The first is employment. We have 7 publications. We have a student newspaper. We have a satirical newspaper called the BNS. They're hilarious. Highly recommend you pick it up when you come to campus. Those are our 2 newspapers. And we have 5 publications that are magazines or zines. And so Sequence, if you like to do art of any format, Sequence is more like comic style. And so they're looking for students to submit. You would submit your artwork and then you would be published in the magazine. The magazine comes out once in the fall and once in the spring. We have Gogue, which is a fashion magazine, and they're always looking for models. And they're also always looking to tell student stories. And you'll see they table, essentially they set up a table outside of dining hall right before dinner a lot of times, and they look for people to sign up to be their models or to tell their story. Gogue is pretty big on campus. They've done fashion shows before, and I think they're hoping to do more of those. We have GUM, which stands for Grinnell Underground Magazine. They're underground, so I'm not going to spill a lot about what they are, but they also have publications in the fall and spring, and they're looking for artwork and poets, storytellers. And then they take artwork from a student and then a story from a student and bring them together. So it's really, really cool. And it's definitely underground. And then we have Grinnell Review. Grinnell Review is made up of a lot of poetry and a lot of short stories. And they're always looking for student submissions. None of those 4 publications could run without you all submitting things. So I highly recommend that you do so. There will be paid positions for some of these publications in the fall. I'm at this point, I'm not quite sure how many, but I do know we'll have some. Any questions about, I just went through a lot of stuff. So do we have any questions, or do you want to find out more about one of these areas? Oh, that's a good question, Norm. Is there a limit to how many jobs we can have? There isn't a limit, but there is a limit in how many hours you can work. And so I would recommend actually reaching out to student employment, and that would just be student employment at grinnell.edu. In order to get the most accurate and up-to-date information, definitely reach out to them. I believe in the student checklist, the first year checklist, it also talks about submitting the proper paperwork to be able to work when you come to campus. Make sure you have all of that information when you come to campus so that if you do get a job, you'll be able to work right away. Otherwise, it will be delayed quite a bit. Okay. Great, Nora, you're asking great questions. I love it. Anybody else have questions about any of this? Seeing none, I'm gonna go to the next slide. All right, events to look forward to. Okay, so this is where we get into the fun. I did not include anything for new student orientation because you are going to have so many fun things. The new student orientation student staff and staff have done, they have outdone themselves. I think it's probably one of the best new student orientations for entertainment that I've seen. So other events you can look forward to. I know, right? Yes. We have Grit and Wit, hosted by Weekend. Grit and Wit is an obstacle course. And you can go on your own and meet with other people and come up with a team. You can just do the course yourself. It doesn't matter. We actually, last year, we had our residence life coordinators, so they oversee each of the halls on campus. They competed against a group of students. They won. They still brag about it. And so I'm really looking for some students to knock them off their pedestal. I'm trying to get them to do it again. But highly recommend going if you like obstacle courses. And if you don't and you want to try it, go. It'll be fun. You can also just watch people if you prefer to people watch. We have cultural center open houses. We have, it all takes place on one day, August 29th. Each of The centers, so there's Disability Cultural Center, the Black Cultural Center, Stonewall Resource Center, which is our LGBTQ plus center, our Latinx Cultural Center, and our Center for Spirituality, Religion, Spirituality, and Social Justice, and then Disability Services. Each of these places is in a different spot on campus, but they're all doing open houses on the same day. So you don't have to identify with any of these areas. You can go in just to check them out and see what resources they have to offer. There's a lot of really good conversations and connections in these spaces, whether you identify or you're an ally. So highly, highly recommend checking it out. And they also give away free stuff, so you might as well. Then we have the poster invasion that's hosted by us in student involvement. It's 2 days. It's Sunday, the 31st of August, and then Monday, September 1st. We will have a company come in and they'll have posters so you can decorate your residence hall rooms. Caveat, you do have to pay for the posters out of pocket. We just bring the company in so you can peruse and see if you can add something to your walls, but you do have to buy the posters yourself. We have Grinnell, and I put American football for our international students. It is not football, aka soccer. It's American football. It's hosted by Athletics. I believe it's their first home game, and it's on Saturday the 6th at 1 p.m. on Rosenblum Field. So highly recommend going. If you've never seen a football game, an American football game, go check it out. It's pretty fun. Pep band just started going, and so it's pretty fun. If you don't know how the game is played, yeah, and it's free. Thank you, Mari. All sporting events for students are free. If you don't know how the game is played, I'm a huge American football fan and football fan. Come on up. I'd love to teach you about American football. It'll be great. And if any of you know about cricket, please come teach me because I have no idea. None. And I'd love to learn. Then we have Drag Bingo also on the 6th. That's hosted by Weekend. We have about 450 spots. Last year, we had to turn away about 120 students. So I highly recommend if you want to go, get there early. I cannot announce who the drag queens are. You'll find out closer to the day. But my students are very, very excited about who we got. So I highly recommend going. Grinnell men's soccer, or football, as the rest of the world knows, is going to be Friday, September 12th at 4:30 on the soccer fields. There's a lot more athletic events to check out. You can go to their website for more information. I just highlighted a couple of the events that I knew were going to be on campus. We have another football game on the following Saturday at 1 p.m. on Rosenblum Field. And then we have the Student Involvement Fair hosted by Student Involvement. It's Thursday, September 18th from 4:30 to 7 on Kington Plaza. The Student Involvement Fair, we have about 100 tables set up full of organizations, volunteer opportunities, you name it, it's going to be there. A lot of organizations want you to sign up, or they want to tell you about what they have going on. They might be promoting events, and a lot of them try to give away candy or stickers or something else. It's a really, really great event. We have a lot of people that show up. Any questions? Oh, yes, Nor, it is recorded. Can you have access to the slides? Yeah, maybe, yeah. If you, Nor, if you want the slides, email Student Involvement, and I will follow up with an email probably tomorrow morning with the PowerPoint. Okay, does that help? Yeah, you're welcome. Great. I will also say all these events that I have will also be listed on the Welcome Week schedule. When you come after NSO, for about the first 3 or 4 weeks, there will be a schedule built out for a lot of the fun things that are happening on campus. This is just a small selection that I picked. Question, Mari, are they able to unmute their mics? Do you know? You don't know?
I think I can.
Okay.
They raised
You're
their
also the
hand.
host. Okay. So if you want to unmute your mic, feel free, but you can ask me anything you want. It's all fair game.
I think the biggest takeaway is that there's a lot to do and there's a lot of fun to be had. You just have to look for it.
Yes. I will also say quality over quantity. We have a lot of students when they first come to campus that, and not even when they first come to campus, I think just Grinnell students in general want to do everything. Take your time. Pick 1 or 2 things, test it out. If you like it, stick with it. If you don't like it, change it up. You have that right. Most students get more out of their involvement experience when they put quality into 1 or 2 select ones instead of being involved in 5 or 10. Any concerns about getting involved on campus? Mm. Nora, you're not alone. A lot of students have a hard time about quality over quantity. Yeah. It's so hard when there's so many fun things to do. I get it. I get it. Okay. Oh, the average amount of clubs or organizations a student is part of. So thank you, Jason. That's a great question. It really depends on the student. We have some organizations, they want you to be a member, which means you have to attend so many meetings or events to be a member. Um, it depends on what you feel being a part of an organization is. Some there's membership, others you're just going to go to an event. You're going to hang out. For me, the question is complicated. I would say a lot of students are involved in 1 or 2 organizations in depth. And then we have a chunk of students that are involved in 5 or 10 heavily. And so my best advice would be to not care what other students are doing and follow your own path and what you feel is the best balance. Because what works well for one person is not going to work well for another. Ah, okay. The question of, do we have a fully equipped kitchen at Grinnell? I love culinary arts, so I was wondering. We have a wonderful kitchen called the Global Kitchen. Um, and the Global Kitchen does a lot of cooking tutorials for students. Um, you can sign up to utilize the Global Kitchen. I would say the Global Kitchen is going to be one of the best spaces to do that. Other than that, I don't know of an on-campus kitchen that's fully equipped.
Yeah, I'm probably not I mean, the Global Kitchen is reservable.
Yeah.
However, it is often the case that near your residence hall room, there is an unequipped kitchen and often students will bring their own pots and pans or acquire them when they get here. Um, we often have like a little yard sale type thing that happens at the beginning, so you don't have to get everything new. The Global Kitchen is on campus. It's located in the HSSC, which students call the Husk, which is Humanities and Social Studies Complex or something like that.
You're
Center?
right.
Okay. All right.
Gold star.
Yes. So it is there and and accessible and reservable. And there's also mini kitchenettes near many of the residence hall rooms.
Yeah. The language houses, I think, also host. So there's the residence halls, there are language houses, and there are project houses. So the language houses, we have a Chinese house, a Russian house, a French house, a Spanish house, and I think a German house. But a lot of times they will host food related programs. You saw German. Awesome. Yeah. They'll do food related programs. They don't always promote a lot externally, so find some friends in those houses or some people in those houses, connect with them, and they'll let you know what's up. They'll let you know what's up. Thank you. So Mari just added our contact information into the chat if you need it. I will stick around and maybe we can stop the recording as well. Oh, we don't, Nor. We don't have another empty house for a different language. And usually the language houses are tied to the language departments on campus. I think not usually all of them are tied to language departments on campus. So it has to relate to a language we have on campus for study.
So what I think
Ooh,
I hear you saying, Ashley, is that we will conclude the official presentation
correct.
portion, and I have placed the contact information for student involvement in the chat. Again, it's pretty easy, student involvement at grinnell.edu, and we will post the recording, which will be captioned. As soon as it buffers or whatever has to happen, a couple of days on the website where you have been finding these webinars listed. And we both will stick around and answer some other questions, but I will go ahead and stop the recording now.